Mamencha with here for an enumerate. Corruption is very important, and also still I idea who here it should form part of the national discourse as we go into these elections. I think say in 2016 a minority no and a year corruption a major issue because na omo ejidi ni say naketa se shene proye koso ntino it was one of their national anthems and no motto. Fast forward 2020 we have a few months to elections and corruption is still not a topical issue.
I didn't say.
I will see a my minority and also opposition no. Because party no wa ban mo na no or engage in corruption no no na ebe born on one kasa nechi. What you say? Enti opposition no mo na impempi no responsibility no e wo mo so say dan nyina mo be ma corruption no aye part of the national conversation. Because I say you reduce these elections into free SHS and what have you. But Ubisamia.
Genuinely, I'm saying genuine concerns are very reasonable. That's like corruption.
Yes. But Ubisamia, Mekache will say this election is about corruption. Because what Bobosian 60, what Bobosian 120 over 140 billion Ghana cedis. What the oil sika 60 billion. What the taxes 250 billion. Na udemu 3 billion. 3.2 billion mami free
Asempa FM.
Now where we are there kana kwa kudia. How can you tell me say mami free SHS? Me na chini you. Taxes in kwa what did you to over 250 billion. Oil amount 60 billion. Ena Bosnia wa bon kwa 125 billion.
Which is more than $20 billion, no?
Yes. Billion. See, a million, I'm making billion. Into a canning in our boma. Not just every year, a buy way, Sika wenya within the 4 years, every year, be on 40 billion Ghana cedis every year. Within 4 years, I was spending just 3.2 billion on free SHS.
None ya can acquire.
Until O catch them and say, what Bosnia? Over 125 billion, but we did move 3.2 billion among free SHS in Timin come on to more. Now 5 billion no cry a there a train no crano, and no crano with the free SHS and Sabeka. What you say? The 120 billion na can away. And to catch him say, Nunti, what my free SHS in Timin come on to. I should be happier. I won't be happy. What you say? Because what the 3.2 billion no. A free SHS we no and can move 5 billion bet my providing so am be e mu 10 billion bet my kwan ama nkofo will be e mu 8 billion bet my provide hospital e mu 15 billion bet my bridge but say no ma we nyina wa anye but o say why free SHS intino o dey just 3.2 billion. Okay, over 400 billion I free SHS in Tiembo and Semumau Ghanaians we should be happier. We can't be happy. We must be asking questions. Sikano dia can way.
Me de minimum but em say nan we hear me hu our president Kufuado Facebook page. As a kwan bi as you know enye ha kwan em say Jakarta as say can say seaport bi a omo ye ho adwuma em say Jakarta as say enye no kwan say some other projects bi
a say ni Ghana.
But at the present, I say what have but I'm say muna munim baby as our projects na ewo
enye yesika no mo de enye yesika na mama sanka bio says 125 billion bosia no mabo no bosia ne de ye pokiasi interchange nka ho sa bosia no ye de kan John mama car bosia oboy 64 billion ye de kan ho
pokiasi na omoji afa no.
So omumpo no aya once a parliament approve ye ne de sa sika no e kan bosi a NDC boy ho enti eno sika kan sa sika no makoje over 125 billion no pokuya se interchange sika ne nka ho enti wo de 3.2 billion na ye free SHS ade aka ne way untimi nkyere kwan untimi nkyerɛ hospital, untimi nkyerɛ nsu a wotu ama obi, untimi nkyerɛ bridge. But also one free SHS. Enti yam boy and some man. Free SHS now so the 3.2 billion per and a year for 4 years. And this is kind of their kind of way. And these are the questions a minority in the same bisa. So, but I say, yeah, jack conversation in one of the free and among free SHS and I say, yeah, John, no bomb was for him. But at the end of the day, this is the country's resources, Minia. And IMF issue statement. In fact, they say Ghana ain't even abolition kobobusian bill. Oh, we are in debt distress. Many because aban we are bobusian chain aban bia waba we are say.
That's what my friend is smart borrowing.
Smart borrowing is saying Oko Jessica bedi dokono and no smart borrowing. Wako Jessica bedi dokono and smart borrowing. And you see, I say, yeah, Janikwa and Bibi Koso, and today I want to point it out. Say, corruption a tun chago kroma nyina jina no kre Ghana fonka. And then Ghana fonka no kre some institutions be and then some partners be agencies be omo ti kroma ha omo kan no kre. They don't speak the truth. Hwe na no ukwa de twemu. TV3 for invite me for program on corruption. Now you call program national your francophobia pen plus bite. Omo be launch a report to be almost a report on air say the two winning manifestos of NPP or NDC from 2012 to 2016 and NPP from 2017 to 2020. Say party we me we emu dey empower na corruption. Minia ejuma report no ye say and sema report ni ka nyina kire say NPP aye ade sen NDC when it comes to corruption. In fact, even when report use corruption perception indices CPI and internationally ye dey measure corruption. Yenim say at NDC worst performance better than NPP's best performance. And no crown no conform no far ade bi almost say positional change. And the say NPP time. Sorry, NDC time from 2015. Move from 56th position to 70th position. It did drop by 14 places into the honor corruption course. Meanwhile, Obi best performance is 78th position. The best. NASA report, it was funded by the UK aid and STAC, Strengthening Action Against Corruption, a UK Department of State funded program. Now, and never want to say, Mubakai in 2016, UK High Commissioner not take Ghana Hania friend John Benjamin. Mukai Jumo Bedin Krumha. Samokai, and they acquire fast so dear Homa saw. A buyer not to so on corruption. The piano to Twitter, no the corruption is tata away, no the way, no the yes say, no corruption, and a corruption in many NDC. Mo say, I can just 1 month and a few weeks to elections. UK for Nasa, I could share company NGO BH, I could release a report to say NDC and the Air West as far as corruption is concerned. Enti ocean report here dey about bontia. Ya kachire nkofo ni say any UK aban ni say omo boa. Ya mo example. Hwe offer between 2012 to 2016 me be bo corruption scandals to be a cause so any anamon aban 2 year. Me wia na ma compare corruption scandals akoso in 2017 to 2020 na ya hwe anamon aban 2 year na ya hwe aban emu aban dia hen na okon corruption enti ye ntra ye krom ha ema obi emetre ye who is fighting corruption more ye nim ye tie krom ha ye nim de ekoso hwe in 20 from 2012 to 2016 corruption be by scandal be by na no Bars Brandon saga mokai e by onim de anamo aban 2 year the minister resigned, minister for transport or the Nejuma to ho Yes sir, sika no mko spend ye no ye sika no sa de beto aban futuom. Hwe scandal bi ba na efe ni Jida Sada scandal mokai. Omampenye ya no teso o instructi attorney general say onko ji sika o matuama companies ni nyina. Afei Minister for Youth and Sports Emma order say yen suspend the payment bia o mo betua e de ma companies no. Afei almost at a 5-member committee say omun probe omunya investigation yen hwe de kofa asasem ni bae omu ye no mo say reformer eno na esesa agida ene ebeda na Youth Employment Agency no. 3 scandal bi ba na efe no Ford saga mokai. Yes omampenya otiso akoji Ford bi Shraj you must Shraj investigate a certain president. Mokai. Yes, but you must Shraj investigate a certain president or issue a 78-page report. Mokai. Scandal be banye judges bribery scandal and that's the buy. 20 lower court judges yomu free. Abaimu. And I say judicial reforms. Scandal be banye friend of Brazil 2014 World Cup saga. Mokai. The commission of inquiry so we investigate it. Emma ban issue white paper. Minister for Sports ye dine juma free in sem. Afei yembra 2017 to 2020. Ni enhwe corruption scandals akoso. Mokai boss contaminated fuel saga. Mokai. Fuela ewo boss ta ye ton no enkofo bi she da contaminate no. Eko ton mo abusuafo ekomokote company register no just a few days ago ton for ne fofofo de man no e ba wim anama aban 2 year aban te committee say yenhwehwem ebesi ne ye hu report ya clear boss MD say ne hu ni asem ebesi ne ye nim de nam ne so e ma sa contaminated food ne bae
so nya daje
ko ebesi ne ye hu report. Scandal bi ba na friend American scandal mokai ka nkofo bi ebe buye kom aje o man sika akodi kwan ya je minister for education minister for energy ena ye na adwuma free nsa ya ante committee bi ase ye investigate sa scandal no ebesi nde ye ante ho hwe bio asa scandal bi ba na friend cash for seat mokai
eno kraso o man je na adwuma free nsa
I say man resign
ono akasa na resign
o man resign asa say nti na adwuma hwere no but ya investigate asem no as cash for seat scandal mokai ya say nkofo okotena man pagin tan ajuso kotua $100,000 mokai ya te committee so mo hwehwem committee no indict obia ya nchi obia ebesi nne ye hunu report
sa committee na meka pesa pass president ibusa no question say nkrofo na no moti won chen yes ye omutua $100,000 so nyoka ne say ne nam fo ne omudi Lebanese fo aduane
samukai afa scandal we buy you say 2.5 million Ghana post Dr. Baumia beje so koye digital address ya anya investigations ya mpamu obia afa kelno GVG mukai esla usu $178 million Kelly GVG saga. Ebesi no investigations was conducted. The Minister of Communication is also that so ekutanejuma. Nobody has been indicted. Mokai Australia visa scandal. Mokai. Yesa nkofo yesi journalist omontimi nkambrofo do omko go up tiri so ye journalist. Ko go man hu fi poto. Yete committee say enhwem yese national security ye investigations ye deputy minister for sports ejuma free nsa and they no call the ministry of information ebesi ne ye hunu report ye hunu probe bia akoso end of matter asemnesi mokai website 800,000 website saga anka Ministry of Special Development Initiative kukuru o man sika 8 billion so de koye website
wa otututu ana
yebusa ya o say yebusa mo so a mistake ebesi ne no investigation was conducted, nobody has been suspended, nothing, no action mokai PDS e dey na course so ebesi ne PDS ye ju omo dwuma fi omo sakwa ye mbu ho akonta enti minua shenyame nim ne busa na compare these two governments emu dia he ne two anamompa efa corruption wo de shenyame nim we fa party sem to nchen because yen party just an independent objective analysis na ka kire me say between NDC from 2012 to 2016 and from NPP from 2017 up to date, which of the two regimes and have corruption better? Just tell me.
The conclusion I'm draw was a report.
The conclusion is there is no way NPP fighting corruption better than NDC.
You think so?
Absolutely no way. At least based on the comparison I hear. Because obi akobokro no na ya hwehwemu ebi ye hwehwemu kra yes report ye fa report ma ye ntehwe na yi nipa no firi ba ko na de no ko ha asa end of matter
ho me so mame na ye ba behwe the NDC's superior agenda wo mode fight corruption keta se hye ene proye se nyame adom abei abatu ya kwakotu se NDC winia won ede be adwuma ma wakwa ba me nua be ma Sadiq se bansa akasa kama bansa constituency de keke ba
ni constituencies na
de wa koina na ganka wuri
okay gadu ni constituency na dey claim to
kasan kama first na tama kana Ablekuma Central mani
Ablekuma Central
ina kake
constituency na no Caucus Central
okay
if you expand it in Nakuma then you have Ayawaso Central and then you can move outside of Accra Wenchi.
Oh, I see.
So there are three constituencies in a day. Easily to lay claim to exactly. So I have an interest to ensure come on these three seats at least when you would deliver Shimuba in this. So it's very important.
I also West Ogon. Yeah, program na.
It was good. I mean, one was obviously to support my brother John DeMello, concerning the creative industry. What does she know the Mukeke and also as creatives in the party now, it's important come on as somebody who belongs to our core creatives constituency. We need to ensure come on he comes to parliament as well, don't she? It was in order. Come on, need Rexoma showed up, provided that necessary support now for him. That seat is coming home to NDC.
But I say, Minya Sadiq na moted and can also on the constituency Caucus Central. Na enyumre ye baba he plans are NDC Amanyoko. Yeah, His Excellency John Dramani Mahamadano. And they were one more a war creative arts industry. Me pache one more ni one more ngoma one more nyumuni ade one more dos bebre one more art one more
dos
na say mamini kanka enhyanse free sa enkrofo yi ba yi wo mo promote creative arts for nyama bebre in actual fact o hwe the recent track was a double track one ya say delivery track ya on ye ya wo mo say wo ma ye nyama bebre and the creative arts industry wo mo see theater wa ha wo can make one of the promises of making us on build theater for every region more creative arts industry no my assessment of sa aban edia na muhunu I say eto sin and I say tuchima ewo won hihye ya wo mo de break creative arts industry as to whether wo motumi afofili and I say motumi afofili ye
ni na de wo kasa wo motumi afofili na yentro na ohwe omo party for na kasangasa na wo ka wo creative arts for change for no ho as say wo so mo friend creative arts for the end even omumpo no my disappointed. Now we party back already on the wave of creatives. Enyas massive support and goodwill from creatives coming into power. Party back any presidential candidate, yes, a presidential candidate Nyasano was Nanado.
Really?
Yes. For the first time in the history of Ghana, we've never had creatives organize into a group And they form Creative Arts for Change.
Even see that.
Even see that. And the first time we heard that was in 2008. In the past, the name was creatives for normal parties in Ibemuye, Ejumebima parties and all of that. But in 2008, almost for me, almost Creative Arts for Change. FM. Almost on in 2012, ever see 2016. Inti na ye ka say, if there was one industry beer anchor, Nado's government will prioritize and ensure say achieve promises on my promise it would have been the creative industry. 18 promises and we'll make it in 2016. 18 promises. ABC one almost see 9 large sitting theaters. Maybe more highlights in BCCR. Almost say 1. Pursue a deliberate marketing program to promote our unique historical sites, flora and fauna, waterfalls, and other cultural artifacts.
Tourist sites.
Yes. And Maso. Take the staffing of these tourist sites and our hospitality industry as a whole seriously. And Maso. To improve professionalism in the sector, partner with the private sector to start up state-of-the-art hospitality teaching facility and operational hotel classrooms, kitchen, libraries, and dormitories. And Maso. Encourage local communities to take ownership and be invested in the sustainability of tourist attractions in their localities. And Maso. 5. The MVP will champion a revenue sharing program to inject 5% of tourism revenues from fees of world develop tourist attractions into local community projects. And Baso. Reactivate and resource the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board to function effectively as a repository of both our culture and historical records. And also Ambaso. Oba has said, come down to creative arts proper. Almost say the culture policy. The culture policy developed and adopted under the Kufuor government will be reviewed and actively implemented to give our culture pride of place in our national development. Amaso. The culture policy developed and adopted, will build a detailed inventory of all our cultural assets so the nation has a database of these assets. And also Amaso.
18 of these promises.
18. Then people will ensure that the provisions regarding the protection of contained and declared designs are strictly enforced against illicit exploitation by foreign interests. And Baso will establish the Creative Arts Fund. And Baso. The MVP will collaborate with the Chief Justice to create a division of the High Court focusing on creative arts to deal with all the matters. And now I can say, so we don't have a Creative Arts Court. 15. The MPP will establish a Creative Arts Council to coordinate and harmonize the various interests and fragmented association into a well-functioning body to protect the interests of members. And now I can say, so we don't have a properly established Creative Arts Council. 17. The MPP will collaborate with private sector interests to acquire the technology and equipment needed to log creative works in order to determine the true and deserved artists.
So functioning creative arts they
don't even have it. Say no. For the past 3 years, I know they've appointed officers similar to Ketaport issue.
Seriously,
what is that?
Appointment
within which polygal mandate, legal regime ben and man power. It is not. This is non-existent. One more appointment. Obviously, is his daughter, so he's had to create something for. Say, your family and friends government. He's had to create something for her. Of course, some government in that is what they do. He's had to create something for her. We create a man. I mean, interim. They are just working about that. They don't have any legal mandate. So as I say, as a time until we hear out of these promises, one was expecting, say, 2 months or less than 2 months or 3 months to election. Only there will be a certain honest and sincere admission, say, you fail you sremo, you pamacho, then explain into detail your challenges in these things. But rather than that, you have your vice president, while you're in press conference, lying to everybody, say, almost theater or Kumasi. Yes, it is true. Kumasi him from the theater nisi. The youth in Kumasi have consistently called on MPP say, "Yenya Santiman, Muslim theater, my mumbetre baby at theater nida." There's which theater no mesi amom. And like I say, obi otien or Kumasi. They should go to Kumasi and ask anybody more industry for say they should show them where the theater is. Apatakese has been there for more than 30 years. Yes, it's been there, the same building. I went there, took a video with Ankarex Omar. They've not done a single thing there. In Kofodia, Center for National Culture building a down. Okoya wako painting changing doors and locks so we see theater. Doesn't look like theater for you. You insisted say you're going to create 9 large ultra modern theaters. Ni na unye. Rather, what we are hearing, I mean, when we created the Exim Bank, for instance, part of what the Exim Bank was supposed to do was to add value to exportable products, including creative product. Kente is exportable product. In fact, today, to music, movies, and all of that have assumed exportable status. So if they have such cheap credit available to make it available to industry, you should have made it available to industry. Rather,
make I support President Mahama extended my music in particular.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, and this idea, if you want to go into the one part here that has really done a lot of work to enabling the creative industry is NDC. Go back to time immemorial. Your national theater here, that was the location for Fan World and Kida Fest and everything. That birthed a lot of music stars near the day and all of those things. And was established by the NDC Conference Center, NDC. In fact, the first government that elevated creative arts within governance circles or policy circles was NDC when we added it to the creative to the tourism ministry. So and then we appointed what's it called, a super creative in the person of Jifagomashi, Honorable Jifagomashi, to be a minister at the ministry. So if Osha party that has always had the creative industry at heart, say you per se developing and all no.
When I was a sector num, why her NDC manifesto num, you unya impression that say and yamana e gumono a solution to deal with problems are creative arts sector and as industry no facing.
Yes, I mean all the promises I are citing in the manifesto no speaks to the needs and aspirations of industry. Because we had, and there's a moral reason why we call it the People's Manifesto. We took into considerations the concerns of industry all these while. Turn it around, put it together. We're also part of industry and understand how industry should be enabled. And so obviously, when overarching party plan say we need to enable a lot of all these industries, right, to create more wealth and create more jobs, consistent with the party's overarching agenda of creating 1 million jobs. This is it. This is the plan. This is the superior plan. So I'm not surprised that, Omono, obviously having failed us, having not had any commitment and any struggle to develop the creative industry, which has the power. And sometimes when you're talking about creative industry, now people don't understand. Hey, maybe I hear say, Asempa, it's part of the creative industry. Advertising a part of creative industry. Events, wedding, decor, at the end, they're all part of the creative industry. In the creative industry, kente, they are all part of first beats and all of those things. It's a very, very, very big industry. Now, in fact, National Education Authority, more registrations, and we found out top 10 professions from our register. 2 of the top 10 professions from our register in the creative industry, at number 6 and number 8. All at the time, no, if you put it together, ni close to about a million. So it is a very, very big and important industry. When you see here and you do the right things, right? You could create a creative industry, one industry. You don't need to be employed to actually deliver your value and make money. Yes, photographers, they all work in the creative industry. They are making money today. Beyond that, events and all of those things. Creative industry, if you're a film school and you're a director, you don't necessarily need to wait to be employed in a TV company for you to work. It is that professional at a go you could write from school with you. And the creative industry employs a lot of people. Hey, Oba Multimedia, I say the group alone from Hase Kokumase, Minheim and Mini, I think they should be close to about 1,500 people. Wako media general, wako EIB, ni na part of the creative industry. So, exactly. So you can imagine, say, if you really had the creative industry at heart, you will not have done anything. You would rather help to support and develop because it was employing people. It was employing nearly 600 to 500 people, and no one in it. So really and truly, if the creative industry, and if you hear other countries, the creative industry are more Enkano, Nigeria, Obo Mudia, Oti in 419. Today, Obo Nigeria, Obo Davido, Obo Wizkid, Obo Genevieve Naji, Obo friend saying, Omo the creative person as the perception of the world of Nigeria. And in fact, Omo you see creative industry to provide a number of jobs for the young people in Nigeria. A lot of value there. Into truly, if you are a government that is really committed at creating jobs. Now, it's on your heart of hearts, really and truly. The creative industry will be a priority point for you. But 4 years, they can't point. We are just less than 2 months to election. Maybe say. But almost 9 launch creative arts for more. But say more no amukano. Little na my no. We train so that we be a little. So man they double my more.
Asempa FM.
Bakumpo out of these 18 promises, if anybody is listening to us from their party, they should mention just a single one away.
Remember our opportunity na what you me abo a niama a good NDC People's Manifesto.
Exactly.
Sir President Mahama Nyame Adomana Odin Kunima Fia what they be from 2021 and beyond. But my member Thompson so Semenu Edicata Seshane prayer we're going to say under good governance NDC Manifesto no mono Moka Yaka and Sembia fa say yeah build strong institutions say nepotism yeah and as ebusuambe mu ya ekosui kwan NDC aban peso wo mofaso etuase enye no nko a mwaka state institutions any ahoden anase kutupa wasi yehye won ma wo mutumi ye won adwuma mene wo ka say auditor general e wo fie aban aya na adwen say nyade a wo bema waba back to office aba be na adwuma me hunu say a major policy be your friend of operation stink and no so e wo ho kire sa policies yi nyina ene kwanya e befa so etu kata sehye ene proye e wo ye memu ha no.
Well, another this wunya your friend is saying the manifesto spokespersons for the various omo na betimi a church but I think say I've compared the two manifestos.
Right.
The NPP's manifesto will copy one on corruption. There is absolutely nothing on corruption. In NPP's 2016 manifesto, they mentioned corruption 56 times in their manifesto.
Asempa FM.
Apart from governance, corruption, and public accountability title, there is absolutely nothing on corruption. Nothing.
I think na banya woba odi corruption eye na twapia efe de one person obebo so bio.
There could be only one reason. Say utie almost slogan na for more to do more.
More exactly.
They haven't shown us what they are going to do more. But judging from the past 4 years, if that is what we are going to go by, that means we are going to have 4 more for Ejapa, 4 more for PDS. And you see, the Ejapa deal ni a deal like Damakoma so.
And President Bufu say from Machimsaka.
Yes, almost suspend the deal no. But me come a Ghana for Ninati as he said. In 2021, say NPP sa ba mu biwa ye good deal on beton. Minia, on ka say wa cancel deal no. Or say wa suspend the deal. IPO na compel call the on the London Stock Exchange no. And no IPO no ma suspend it. That is the only part of the arrangement that they have suspended. I say public.
Yeah,
I say okay. Company. You can say company be a IPO and I say or public. Company be a private company. Or say me kwa bontia ko raise equity me turn shares. Obi a person to shares or company no so own shares or company be a betobi. Enti company be a obe start here turn shares fufuro be a new IPO. IPO general initial public offer. What you say? That you say on ton shares that or a private company after na all public. Now the public ato shares wom. Enti Ejapano aban akote no a private entity say afe na e Japan no be public akọ raise sa your friend say 500 million na omo say omo de be maye no afe no mo kọ the UK stock exchange or akọ raise sa $500 million no e de amaye what you say enti sa IPO no ma suspend Ghana for muntin ye enye entire deal no ma suspend enti o ma suspend IPO no say special prosecutor enye corruption assessment me wa yeah to abawie ya special prosecutor the report paper say there's nothing wrong with the deal yeah to abawie ya special be force special prosecutor man actually letter say there's nothing wrong with the deal mo kai say jape ya attorney general actually krata the by say the deal was unconscionable mo kai actually ko force na maame na chere say it's okay they can go ahead say mo kai enti say almost aban mu biewa Ghana ye gudi no omo beton ni nyina de ama omo busuafo they will not suspend it. PDS mokai PDS Omaya Japadi Electricity Company of Ghana omo chichire esoaye edemo omo busuafo yesi company no omo the fraudulent demand guarantee sika omo de beje ECG ne so ECG na sika na omo jeje de beto ECG eno say ya cancel PDS deal no for about 4 to 5 months at PDS ebejeje yen bills wo krom ha ebesi na PDS mbu akontant kire Ghana for ye nim sika dodo a PDS for jeje ye hunu de omutuade ma IPPs ye hunu de omutuade ma Gridco ye hunu de omutuade ma other your friends entities ena ye hunu sika no de aka PDS imbu akontantre Ghana for besine e kire say PDS deal no e hangeo because say oko buildings ni nyina PDS so bobon ho enti e kire say yesa to aba bio no mo sa ba mu on best PDS be ba be fa ECG no on de be ma omo enu so omo busuafo minia ade ba ko aye me de on the matter of because of my interest in corruption, you know, the NDC manifesto any operation stage, you know. Now, corruption, if nothing at all, you know, President Akufo-Addo ye opposition. You did that, Dr. Bawumia ye opposition. And no ba mu krono any ketase she edware omo. Yenim dim de do mo ye we kire se ketase she ne proye ne ho ahomete enti so pese wutu ase a you need a more forceful policy adia enti say my interpretation of the operation stage ne right what it means ne say more of a task force they'll be focusing on public sector activities, procurement activities, and other things. And everywhere they smell corruption, they can invade there, investigate, indict people, refer the matter to the Attorney General's Office of Prosecution.
I don't know what. Let me just take it. Say, I imagine said they would not see Sanyama corruption. She said all kinds of things that their cost was system. But consistently, ASEPA, much krata the special prosecutor, and Mekaipa the appointment of special prosecutor, and some President Akufo-Addo Kai, as the appointment of special prosecutor is supposed to put the fear of God in every public sector workers of every appointee of his government. More civil society, more assessment of say. Indeed, and more the kind of correspondence I'm having with the special prosecutor so far. Is it the case to say you are not satisfied with the special prosecutor ne dia koketa se ne press or ye bimpoa?
Mitie o mampenyi dada ni interview bia. no oka say obe maintaining the office of the special prosecutor. Yebesrena, if indeed a ban for Frobi Ebepano ebe maintain office of the special prosecutor, yam pam yura matanami dum free.
Oh.
Because minya, if you say you want me hunu nipa or incompetent to say matanami do that. Me hunu be that.
That's what another incompetent competition.
Oh, matanami do incompetent chain anado.
Two competitors.
Matanami do incompetent chain anado. Me hunu nipa or incompetent to say matanami do. He is just incompetent. Sure, only say matanami do. If you appointed say 2018 me wa. Ono better na kunya so. Caucus is saying office of the special prosecutor only an effective investigative unit. Only an effective prosecution unit. Only be. Oko matinami the officer on any office phone call on any office workers in our coincidence 3.
Oh.
And to kwan on one workers so. You see, President Akufo-Addo may have had a vision for the office of the special prosecutor, but he made a big mistake by appointing Martin Amidu. The guy is just useless. Sure, when him say in 2019, I buy my Martin Amidu sika Emma when to me and Fasika na he was returning sika na de come buy. Nipa na osi aban man akode no aban man sika e ma osa return sika na de koma aban na mbekra menim nenti abokofa matenamidu just say madwene ho a menti ase enu obi say na oye adwumakta na corruption citizen vigilante na mse hwan matenamidu citizen ni why na vigilante ni kofa hen
say ebia obo na dwume yi a wa hwe ya nanka ya wono consign to say ya no ma wo auditor general consign auditor general me no kase what if
minia matenamidu wabon Matinamidu abon, he's incompetent. Sure. Oje, mami fa unko Matinamidu history. Mami chiro the time say Matinamidu ye incompetent. And that was his appointment itself is a failure on the part of President Akufo-Addo. Ebia,
Moya civil society organization.
Asempa FM.
Aban eba so, womo ka kire say omu hia large numbers to be able to operate. Okay, sir. On the case of nepotism, any family and friends, wamo kachire na ibusia memu. Wamo kachire say nkrofo so omo ye competent, no problem. But under President Mahama, it wasn't about competence. And we are seeing all kinds of enyama abusia fu aye appointed and never in any amenu kasi say another for reactor be ameno. Ya no so see as an appointment. Mo amoye and they are menu say more civil society organizations are more monitoring air cost. Is it a case to say more giving up at some point?
No, you ain't giving up. But my main finish up on Matinamidu because Matinamidu will go anima say. You see, what him say? A dear Matinamidu jina so the year they say. Or no, and a year citizen vigilante will chroma. Eye the Woyomi saga. Samokai. Na minia. When him say Woyomi saga no. Matinamidu ni tu asika no mu de ma Woyomi. Mokai. As Attorney General Mokai. Owie ye no no asatan Woyomi de ne ko gina court. Minia. We nipa be na yes ade we. We Attorney General. Ya de krata betu onim se sika yentua sika ma brantie wo se pe yentua na wasan ba ko ne atua ma no mienu ne atua ma no ade che ya na wabe westi o man nyina tam ekukuru nipa ne de akogina court se sika ne atua ma no sika no ye unconstitutional na time a wo san se yentua sika no ma no na wonim se sika ne unconstitutional enti ya de ne ekukuru sa nipa de ne court na ho se o my special prosecutor. Into the guy is a failure. He has always been a failure and he has always been incompetent. Oma Martinami do 100 years or special prosecutor on Timinyo food day, Pete, Akoko crown Timinchano. Until the guy is wasting everybody's time. He's just incompetent. Until special prosecutor on the day, say, as far as Martinamidu continues to remain in that office, we've given up on the office of the special prosecutor because nothing is going to happen. Nothing. Until on the you see, but as far as nepotism is concerned, we cannot give up on nepotism, and we haven't given up. But you see, say, a Jumani Dawson. But a powerful niswa. Nim a kwanea a bang with faso a can civil society organizations nina a casabuasha or muyamu krumha. Minim somebody and who somebody sikaso ne ton kofu minim. But somewhere somehow as a krumha obia I can not to krumha. And it's only a few people. And ekasa and na krono no mo bonu so do so che nipa na ekasa no enti utimi fa sometimes utimi fa corruption scandal we ye hu adwuma unyo
overtrust statement
unyo ube review case na we obetwere wo official statement no na ya announce foforo radio so enti to da to mitimi fa krata no go afi na mabre krono no do so ena yene aye kasan yene aye boy omochi ni esua dodo na ya kan omano atom say de huna na kan omano atom say de sika na kan omano atom obi anim krom ha ena krono nko na ekoso abam everything enra me hu ye
Asempa FM
you say me kan news you say online portal bi I stand to be corrected you say sa free water na abande maye no you say e cost 83 trillion. C'est 8.3 trillion. Minyana Ghana economy na esen. It's free water now they am for 5 months or 6 months. 8.3 trillion. You billion or trillion. You best minister for sanitation. Minister for water and sanitation. On me clarify sa dey yo. And yes sir, you be pun kotoja pata yi chow. Ye magana phone so ni bi kra na insuo 8.3 trillion. Ghana economy na yesan ye GDP na yesan. Wakoma nsuo nko 8.3 trillion. Ministry of Sanitation na bonte yesre omo.
Adenti na ye wo wanwa because during the COVID time ye be catch there say omo fidi Ghana for be na watche mienu asemiensa
say actually ombet figure so but
ka omo de beto abonten yes kam kuma
but minua enkontambo ho but the point I'm making in say krono no do so ma ye na ye adwuma ni so until we can only do so much ye kakra so at sometimes say sometimes we have to be selective. Ye fa we ye hwe say oh we there e bia no na e bia public no hia say ye be kan ma mate e bia we na hu sika no so until won say e japa deal no you will still time ho pa because o mine nyina japade na nkofu ekukura koton ntini ye ni abre you will still time but eno nkire say time ye ka japade na krono foforo nkoso menua na krono nkitenkete ana e koso ana e ba no pa ni ntimi nja japan nko kan ketwa no because Japan is your mining in our gold. You from Kwame Nkrumah time, Kwame Nkrumah Anton, Leman Anton, Buzi Anton. Your friend is saying, Kufu Anton, Atamos Anton, John Mahama Anton. A Kufu Kwa dear, or see your mining in our gold, or Bekukuni in our Quacoton, or Tonsua, or Coton, the man a bush for. Now your 2% the ho. Into that chomoko position cry 100 years. Ghana gold ni year 2 no ni go president Kufuor in the bush for bottom. But and also nim nyenti akrom ha yete ha. No mani nyina japade. O mampanyi akukura de ne kwa akoton yete ha ya kan ya no atom ya ye mem entimi nkasa ye hufo anasa ye den Ghana Kwame Nkrumah Ghana na nie. Ade ne haye. Enkola nya school nko enkola nya nso no Uko hunu so ankofo no mu krom ha hospital so be kwa pemfo da form and now no car kwan mu ne ye gi oba wo because yentimi yenya car fa ne mfa entunu emfa ne ntumu enko yaresa bia nanso oman agudi a afi bia e mayo $200 million oman panya kukura de ndo koma na busuafo age $500 million for 15 years na die ene yete ha ne yakan ya no to e die ne ha ye hufo anase den anase president Akufo-Addo hu bibia gu ye ni so one na busuafo no hu bibia gu ye ni so anase den anase ye suro omo ye suro omo
$500 million bitmenya
mina ye suro omo anase den so eti ayade a wo gine ho a wo nte ase
Asampana ni 4.7 FM so na wasogu so a wutie no Mensa Thompson executive director ma Asepa na ni bere a abede wo be no studio hanom say in 18 no pa because they am prepare ye na mamemra mini abema Abu Sadiq so you see creative art industry now one more sini obi a woto nyom obi a wodro ni ade one of the major issues omoka hwasem de bia say womo nya enough on womo intellectual you can say
property
enya no nko a womo yisini womo industry ni mu a ekọ homijie mu most of the times so hu am krampo na sika o de betodwane edi krampo no ebi ni honom sa crofo sa na wo mo pese anasa mebru mpo mpo so mo creative art industry no mu a wo buti o sabre edian hihye na NDC ewo a good people's manifesto no mu a ebetumi address sa issues we amaka hwasem
so jana me catch you say it's good say wetin identify some of the problems industry FAC jana me catch you say Yang manifesto here, and the more reason why we call the People's Manifesto is factored in all these things. Now, quickly, let me go into the specific promises in the People's Manifesto. I address it 2 areas here, our boy.
Okay.
One, promises will provide a new NDC government will provide seed money for the creation of a special fund for artists, including aged and needy creative artists. Seed money to create a fund for this group of people, aged and needy artists. Exactly. So you see, here generally, from the party Nangasangasa, there were a particular part of your health partner, right, which addresses something which has to do with the dignity of these people. And no plan, overarching plan, no, yet to be. It may create a fund for these people. In future, what we don't want is na ubi wa bonyum carry the flag of Ghana so high across the world, with him entertaining the society and all of those things. And now we try to see the so ye be a ifutu a sinimun and all of those things. Now Chinebi Niabeka say, I mean, he's sick and there is no say after say it me hala niakoheno. Those things, we want it to be a thing of the past. It's a critical seed fund. You provided the seed fund to create that special fund now, so that these people, when they fall back on bad times, we can quickly look to it to get some bit of funds to be able to support them during these needy times. If you look at it, MPP and Creative Arts for Change, active member, Wachi. Some few months back, there was a report about his ill letter, party no crown no. I mean, really and truly, this is an integral member of their Creative Arts for Change. They couldn't do anything for them. Now, on copyright, 2 specific promises I am making regarding copyright. One, we want to be able to set up a system of legal aid for creative artists to help fight creative or intellectual theft and plagiarism by others.
And on as
Achichene say, one of the limitations regarding the pursuance of your rights, say you're infringing as copyright, access to legal aid and legal support because of the cost element now. So it's difficult. So when you no be afa when but because we need sika betima for the lawyer for consultancy and now betimi lawyer now betimi do a court and all of those things, ultimate DHR. So this is one of the reasons why almost copyright, they are not able to fight it, they are not able to do
plagiarism
anything. Exactly. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be the intellectual property. Intellectual property, what it means is that idea would do watching, right? What we create our no, property in the same way, sir. Obi wa car no any property. It is a dime. That's why it's called intellectual property. If you watch your God-given talent, would do watch your mental capacities need to create it. If you are into a new tour, would do ubo watch me create here. The movie would do ubo watch me create here. So all these things, it's a property. It's the same way it should be protected in the same way. So I say to me, property will die out, and I was and our car. Such as it's an intangible thing. Some of it obviously is tangible. I mean, but that property must be protected. Into our born will be maybe realign be an our sample be without your permission or anything be an our breach will right be of a sort, say farmer quite so now ultimate the necessary a friend is saying reliefs now and now the necessary compensation for work, but the limitation and for which reason copyright infringement are rampant in industry is that they don't have the means to be able to pursue, have access to, a form of legal aid. In the end, what we want to be able to do is that in collaboration with copyright administrator, GAMRO, and all of these organizations, we want to be able to create a legal aid, at least even if it's a desk, get the necessary legal support and advice and direction pursue just to get your your compensation. And aside that, there's a number of what's it called, good talent. Maybe a so sample nimbi or here direction be in terms of Martin Yumwe Dao. If we owe that to be some sample, how do I go about it? And I'm person me how do I go about it? Ebo on mukra be some sign a contract be a aggregator contract mentias. How do I go about it? This legal aid is supposed to help you and guide you to be able to go into these deals very well, so that it will prevent this. One of the what we pay attention to in this, one of the things I'll bet in is Caribbean and what maybe talent in the manager be is some home contracts near some common signing contract, verbal agreement, and all of those things. This legal aid is supposed to give you a certain form of structure, because the thing it's got to the point that industry here we. Beyond that as well, we also want to strengthen regulation to protect the copyright of artists and ensure that they get the value for their works by enforcing the payment of a friend saying payment. Ensure that they get value for their works by enforcing the payment of user fees under the Copyright Regulations 2010. This is the other second one. Now, one of the things are the likes of Gamro, Asog, and all the musicians is the fact that the user fees for the music users, is not being enforced. Obehu said the organizations now a form of collecting society says they are not able to receive or collect more money. So it's become a very big problem. But the regulations are there. What we want to be able to do is to put in the measures to ensure that we would enforce these things. One of the key points I connected to the enforcement of this is BBI which is to see to the passing of the broadcasting bill and the creation of the media development fund. So the broadcasting bill, the part of the draft, has a particular offense and mandate to all the broadcasting organizations, to log and then effectively make payments to this thing. So it's all part of the steps I take to ensure these creatives will get so much more for their work, because one of the biggest problems that is drawing the industry back has to do with funding element, and obviously the necessary steps
I can't 5 minutes not to say the energy but memo 2 minutes
nice.
What can one more a war industry no more the down? Is there anything yeah bibi or manifesto no more ebe to me aboa ama one more any industry no more so person mu platform bi wo ho sa a che say NDC manifesto be create a more one so ebe to me ewura sa sector no more na say creative arts industry
one of the biggest sectors one of the biggest things it's me here is to the what we call the upgrade of NAFTI. Nafti, the the only scope on there is film training and media broadcast training. But it's expanding. Now, the other disciplines account, other areas account, music, theater, and the art generally at the count. But most importantly, they say about with the massive infrastructural investment befitting of a National University of Media and Arts, so that beyond the scope, it can admit a lot more people or person joining the art as a mobile. That's one of the key things. And now one other most important thing is that there's something called a free national apprenticeship program, which is also captured in the FNC. Oh, here a number of people, number of the people, creative zone, because a number of the people that want to learn that particular training, majority fana want to go into the creative industry. Even person musuya sene pamade, even person musuya sene eboti, even person musuya sene yahuniye, even person musuya fana obi some so person musuya den, person musuya sene eboti, person musuya sene makeup, person musuya sene fencing, pamade. All these things, fana, so all these things is within the creative arts. President John Mahama and the NDC say, Otumaya, this is a particular programmer. Opeso usia sene eboti. Ye we nina out fear uni utrin cells say I'll bet me tia ekosua there for free no. The free national apprenticeship program no, the whole idea behind it didn't say you be tia ma work kusua ejuma we no for free. Yes, so I some allowance. Bra na usua de no se no betimi afaka ye wo fence and rounds bia auto fence and practicals bi na so otimi wotimi usua we nyina. So this is a very very major one ni na etiba ntino utie yen na we mebu no, or you are also interested in the creative arts now. Wotie ye manifesto ye since you launching ye wotie aba ye de aba. Most importantly no utie na uweyi all that we brought about any kofoya from manifesto matise from manifesto family manifesto go manifesto amade ba unti hunka unti hunhe utie na uwe mienu ni na unim party adwen into also on December 7th. So we perceive party papa eba power it may join whole institute all these things to ensure say it can cushion you and create a meaningful life for yourself now. To aba Emma number 2.
But I say, my member, emerging final remark in free Mensa Thompson Honum. Among for Dudwana ATO, more civil society organization, and you know, among for Dudwana ATO, well, more per se, what more do final words? A dear now be catch Romo. A beton one some say assessment more year of the 2 manifestos, no party we and what's on Motuaba man.
You mean ya de yentimi nkyere Ghana for so monto abama party A na party B. Many betimi aka say aban ya hoteso. Aban with responsibility and a social contract with the people of this country. Ya ma aban resources. Ya jeje etuo nko 250 billion di ama aban no mfie 9. Bosia nko over 125 billion ya di ama no waje. Oil anase fan go si kan kwa 60 billion waje. O ka ni nyina we nyina boma over 400 billion ana aban yi aje. Minua odemu 3.2 billion pe na free SHS amount. Dia ka ni nyina ekokita asehye ne proye ho. Enti se wei na se yentimi mbusa aban no se on kira ya de wodi sekan na ya minni say aban no deserve another term. Minni until say aban no betimi akira ye over 400 billion no maje no. Omo demu 3.2 billion per na ye free SHS. 3.2 billion per. You see, me emphasize it because me person we say oh na ye omo disika na free SHS. Me patch of free SHS no in fear 9 nyina e car abaya bo e free SHS ho e 3.2 billion Ghana cedis. Ye ti free 400 billion no more e ka 397 billion. Sa sika no we ya aka efie aka bosome baako ne na otwe mienu ne akwa koto aba. Me pata yes 13 busa aban say 397 billion ne way. otimi kyerɛ de ɔde 397 billion na aka na ya monto abama no wantimi ankyerɛ mo de ɔde 397 billion na ya monto abantia no
meda se emse menye ni kra se ayade a ye den ya omunsa ebetumi aka Mensa Thompson executive director edema Asepa wono ena mote ne nka no saa nso na menua bema Baba Sadiq Abu spokesperson NDC manifesto on creative arts 2020 on a spokesperson enne aha ana adwume mrebema yakwan ama yede ene adwumedie no esie nyame adomo a yebesan ehia na wotwe se enne na mekoi mame hye obibriara nkran ese door to door campaign no osori a mentina ofie bomodi asa wo bepia bonten akwa yebie esan se wo twen se obi ebekwa akoye ama wa ba be didi a ene de nya de be adwuma obi ko chamba di kaka se no contribution no chop ene no bomodi asa wo de ho bajim constituency bi a wo branch bi a wo bomodi asa wo de ho bajim makase next week me ba me gide data no constituencies a branches a ya de me ba bebo ho aba so wa hanom na ye nyina ye hunu adwuma obia eyo na yenum a wa Brekuma Central de yenso ye bekoso a ayeyen de honorable Baba Abdul Latif Dan wono ena ye parliamentary candidate ewo honum midin edi Peter Banfo Mamenfa aseda emma mi producers Jackson wonne dimu kanin saa so ena General Mosquito nana kwekuchum berema ana minua panyi nana tweneboa konua womo ena eboaye ema ye de enadwumadie no ebremo midin edi Peter Banfo makramo